Follow me. Board is down. You want the board to be up, Swami? Okay.
शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। कस्तूरितिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे नवमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुर्करे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते Gopal Chudamani. Hari Om. So, last 4 days we have been seeing the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Geeta. The 3rd chapter is a very important chapter of Bhagavad Geeta because it establishes the foundation of a human being. The foundation as to how we should function. And a human being is known by the actions or a trail of actions that they leave behind. When we pass on from this planet and we are lying in a box, at the funeral, how is somebody going to eulogize us? They are going to say, was a great father, great mother, great parent, great grandparent, great worker. Now when we look at all these things, it is how they contributed to the platform of motherhood, contributed to the platform of fatherhood, how that person lived, how that person interacted. And we are all known for that and that alone. So Bhagavad Gita, this manual of life, manual of living, introduces to us how we should function. This 3rd chapter are inspirations for how to live. Inspiration in the field of karma. That is 3rd chapter. We have to be inspired to live and inspired to work. And ultimately, it is this fantastic inspiration in living which will set us apart from others. When somebody applies to medical school, that application, how is that application going to stand up as compared to the other pool of applicants? What has this person done? Where have they volunteered? How have they contributed? How have they understood? And the person is barely some 20, 21-year-old, just finished undergraduate and wants to go to med school. But they have to sell themselves to the school, to the admissions officer, why they should pick them as opposed to the other. What is the signature? The signature is a personal statement. What have you done? Today people do volunteer work and Kumon classes and these classes, that classes, music, dance, this, that, only for some application. So our karma is determined by the end goal. Bhagavan also had said, don't allow that to happen. Karmani eva tava adhikar, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala hetur bhuhu, which is what is happening. Why are you learning Bharatnatyam? Oh, because I can write down Swamiji on the application that I have done full 8 years of Bharatnatyam, including an Arangetram. That is Maate Phala Karma Hetu Bhuhu. Bhagavan has clearly said, if you want to do Bharatnatyam, do it for the love of your own expression. That's all. Because then we will benefit and the altar of Bharatnatyam will benefit. We will become the ambassadors of this Kala dance. So, we have to find that inspiration in living. And that is what this chapter is. Bhagavan is asking Arjuna that do not neglect your action. Do not err in your commitment to work, and do not frown upon work. Do not take it lightly, and if you do not enjoy it, learn to enjoy it by participating in it properly. And yesterday I went through the proper participation in action. So we left off at shloka number 21. Yadyat acharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Shloka number 21 in the 3rd chapter. It is this person who beautifully utilizes action. The inspiration in action over here, Bhagavan is saying is, do your action properly because you do not know who is idolizing you. The more we are noticed in the society, the more careful we have to be when we do our action. This is an elementary school. I see, first grade class, second grade class, third, fourth grade, and all the kids must be all assembling over here to take one by one turn in, basketball. And some games or whatever it is they are doing. Now, the teachers of these classes, there are 20-25 kids looking up to that teacher. And this is very impressionable age. A 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Just, they have been on this planet for 9 years. And the eyes are open, the mind is open, and they want to learn. And the only best tool that they have of learning is my teacher. They are exposed to that teacher for 6 to 8 hours over here in the school. Whatever the teacher does, the child will learn to replicate it. The teacher becomes Shreshta Purusha in their life. And when the child comes home, parents are Shreshta Purusha. And the children will ask, especially if they are born and raised over here, they really want to, why should I do it? What will I get? And sometimes the parents get, fed up because they don't have an answer. You can at that time be honest and say, you know what, I don't know why, but this is what is done in our culture, and let us find out together. We will both learn. I will learn, you will learn. Now you have created an inquisitiveness in that child for learning. But you say, be quiet, just do it because I said so. Then we are turning their inquisitiveness off. Because in this school system, they are encouraged to question. An elementary school in India, they will not question. Our culture is different. We grew up, we never asked our parents anybody, you just sit down, bus. You do puja. Arey, what puja, why puja, how long puja? No. You're not allowed to move. Sit. But that doesn't work over here. So this type of understanding, when we know that whatever we do matters. Whatever we do matters. However insignificant it is, it matters. So Bhagavan says, Yadyat acharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha. Others, the ones who are looking up to this person, simply mimics. When we look at a president or a prime minister of a nation, it is not just they are carrying the burden of the economic engine of the nation, the welfare of the nation, taking this nation to a different era in terms of the contribution in the research, the development, the economic ways. So many things, but not just that, but their own ways in which they live, that also matters. How are they conducting themselves? Are they dignified? Are they proper? That all contributes to it. So, that is why Shreshta Purusha, the one who everybody looks up to, that person has to be proper. Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. Whatever way the king is, so will be the subjects. Sayat Pramanam Kurte. They create a standard for how an action should be, a life should be. Whatever the child is exposed to in terms of eating, that will become the eating habits for the rest of the life. Whatever the child is exposed to in learning, that will become a standard of the intellectual knowledge of that child. Whatever sports and activities the child is exposed to, that will become the habits of the child. All of us. So Sayat Pramanam Kurute, it creates a standard of living. If the mother itself or the father itself, they've never folded clothes. One dirty pile to a clean pile, but a pile is a pile. And when the child goes off to college, it will be piles. But if there is an expectation of keeping the room clean, a regard for everybody, dinner should be eaten together, no phones over there, no texting, no this, at least 10-20 minutes enjoy each other's company and not allowed to use inappropriate words or whatnot. It depends how the relationship of the parent is. Because their relationship, these silent witnesses, the children are watching. And when they enter relationships, the same circle will be repeated. That is called Sayat Pramanam Kurute. If a child is exposed to abusive environment, unfortunately that repeats, isn't it? That's what the psychologists, the sociologists, they see it all too often in medical field. But Sayat Pramanam Kurute, Lokas Tadanu Vartate, for how life should be lived. Continuing, shloka number 22. Name parthasti kartavyam Trishu lokeshu kinchana Nanavaptam avaktavyam Varta eva cha karmani. You imagine Bhagavan Krishna. He is the charioteer of Arjuna. Bhagavan is a Purna avatar. He is a complete incarnation of Mahavishnu. And as an avatar, he entered this world. He could have picked an amazing life. But he is born in a jail cell. And he has to run out of the jail cell. And mother and father are snatched away. And surrogate parents are going to adopt him and raise him. Vasudeva and Devaki are gone. And Yashoda and Nanda Baba has to raise him. At the minute he arrives, in 7 days, Putana is come and she wants to kill him. And line by line by line, one after the other, the Asura keeps on coming. At the age of 7, one's own uncle. And Jarasandha. And he has to leave the Ranabhumi and his name also becomes Ranachod and he has to settle onto the other end of Gujarat in Dwarika and create a whole kingdom. And he populated it with his own Vamsha Parampara, Yaduvamsha. And even over there, his own cousins, sister going through so many problems, he comes to Hastinapur only to rescue the Pandavas. And Pandavas, Yudhishthir gambles away everything, including his wife and brothers. Oh, what kind of incarnation of Dharma it is, but yet we see that. And right over there, Bhagavan, Krishna is the only savior. They are banished to the forest for all these years. And Bhagavan stays with them in the forest for all these years. And he is the only savior. And it is Bhagavan who helps the Pandavas out during their dark days. And when living in the forest is over, when they have to come back, Yudhishthir goes back and asks Duryodhan, he says, no, I am not even going to give you land which can stand up on the tip of a needle. So Bhagavan again goes over there and requests on the behalf of the Pandavas. Nothing happens. Bhagavan says, fight for it. What is inevitable? In between, the 16,000 kanyas are stolen away. And now, nobody will look at them and Bhagavan has to marry them. On top of the Ashtapatranis, one after the other, they all, Satyabhama, Jambati, all of them, Rukmini. All of this goes on and he is fighting on the battlefield with Arjuna without any weapons. If we look at Bhagavan Krishna's life from childhood, and when he's narrating this Gita, he is 116 years old. In 116 years, he's not had any peace. Yet Krishna never complained. He's happy. As a Vaishya, previous birth as a Kshatriya, born in palace and banished to forest for 14 years. Over here in the next birth, he chose to go to the forest for 14 years with Pandavas. But as Rama, he was kicked out for 14 years. Yet, silently going through everything. See, he is the creator of the universe. And as a creator, ours is a reincarnation. His is an incarnation. It is not reincarnation for him. And because it is not reincarnation for him and an incarnation, It is called an avatar. And even as an avatar, he doesn't have anything to achieve. He has nothing to achieve. Yet he goes through trials and tribulations in all avatars, if we look at it. Why? Because he understands that if the reincarnated soul goes through trials and tribulations, then me as a creator, I should also be an example. What good would it be if I am born in a palace and remain in the palace untouched by the world outside? That would not mean anything. So over here, name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu. He has nothing to achieve in the three worlds. Nothing to be achieved. Trishu lokeshu kinchana nana vaptam avaptavyam. There is not an unacquired thing that needs to be acquired by me, because he is beyond all acquisitions. He is the divinity of all and a possessor of all. Then what will he possess? If he already possesses everything, it would be redundant to acquire something. He is the adhipati of Maya. And Maya is the fodder of the substance of this entire universe. But vartma eva cha karmani. But Arjuna, I come and I engage in karma. As Rama avatar, I silently lived. As Krishna avatar, it was a parakrami avatar. Rama avatar, it was a Maryada Purushottama. He lived according to the best standards that a human being can live. But according to Krishna avatar, it is Leela Purushottam. We cannot even comprehend a little 7-day-old baby sucking the very life out of Putana. Who can do that? And Bakasur and Aghasur and Kali and Nartan at the age of 6. Playing ball in Yagna and climbing on top of a poisonous snake. We cannot dance on a steady floor, much less dance on top of a cobra in a water. Oh, who can do that? Oh, we cannot do what Krishna did, but we can do what Rama did. But we have to follow what Krishna said, not did. Because what he did, 16,000 wives, एक wife we cannot handle. So we have to do what Krishna has said. That is called Leela Purushottam. Because in this Leela, he is the Lord of it. And he alone knows the secret to come out of this Leela. Because he's created it. Thus, this shloka is important. He says, there is nothing left for me to be achieved in the three worlds. Vartmayeva cha karmani. Therefore, Arjuna, take your life seriously. Work. Offer your life in seva. That is the purpose of this shloka. That, see, these are the inspirations in working. Why should we work? The previous shloka was because we have to set a standard. Why? Because somebody is idolizing me. Now, he's giving his example. That I take birth because mine is an incarnation. But as an incarnation, I go through pain and sorrow. But in and through the pain and sorrow of the incarnation, I enjoy. Even though there's nothing left for me to be achieved. And what we have come over here for is to achieve moksha. Now, if you don't like this word moksha, don't get annoyed. You can substitute, we've come over here, at least thoda peace of mind you can substitute. If that gels. Is it not that we all seek some peace of mind and freedom from all types of bondage? So how am I going to come out of that bondage? Bhagavan says that you can come out of it by proper attitude in living. Convert work into worship. Yadi hyayam navarteyam jatu karmanyatindritah mama vartmanu vartante manushyaः partha sarvashah. Together, yadi hyayam navarteyam jatu karmanyatandritah mama vartmanu vartante manushyaः partha sarvashah. Bhagavan says, yadi aham he jatu karmani atandritah na vartante. In case, Arjuna, if in this world I don't do my duty, then manushya partha mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. Manushyaha, people will think, Bhagavan is not doing anything, why should I do? Is it not true if you go at work and your boss doesn't do anything? And your boss tells you, you have to do this. And if you're a new employee, yeah, you do it. But then you observe, hey, बंदा तो कुछ भी नहीं करता है. He's telling me to do, oh, he's not doing anything. And then one day you will work, 2 days you will work, 3 days you will work, 4 days you will work, 1 week, 1 month. Even if the best among the workers eventually will be like, what is this? I'm carrying a weight like a donkey and he's just sitting over there. What is this? And one day, we will feel like, okay, I also am not going to work. Actually, it is the boss who should set a standard for the work culture. If the boss itself is rotten, then what can you expect? But that's what Bhagavan is saying. Arjuna, if I, the Shrushti Karta, if I take a back seat, and then मैं तो भगवान हूँ, आप लोग सब तुच्छ जीव है, मैं क्या करूँ? करो. I I'll sit over here, aram se, Sheshashai. Lakshmi ji is here, and my milky ocean. Bhagavan knows. In this Jeev, Jagat and Ishwar, Jeev, all of us, Jagat, the world, and Ishwar. Actually, the position of the Ishwar is very important. We look at whatever be your political affiliation, but you look at the Prime Minister of India, just the way he lives his life. It's admirable. He sets a standard, not to please somebody else. It's a lifestyle choice to live life within the means, not because I cannot afford it, because I just want to be a dignified person in living life and being proud and happy of my spiritual growth. Nothing more, nothing less. Such a person can move mountains. So if the leader itself is a very respectable person, then the others also feel, wow, I should live up to some standards. That's what Bhagavan is saying. Yadi aham na varteyam. If my conduct is not proper, manushya partha sarvasha. All people, if the highest person in the government is corrupted beyond means, what would be the attitude of those poor subjects living in the country? They'll be dragging their feet in life. Kya kare? What kind of leader we have? So Bhagavan is setting a standard that I am an Ishvara. And it is not just as an Ishvara just standing over here and blessing. I contribute to the universe. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinah. The next chapter itself, he will talk about what is the purpose of Shreshta Purusha when they come over here. Not that I come once in a yuga. He comes whenever there is a glani in dharma, and becomes a standard to revitalize it. So, inspiration in living, that is what I am saying. Utsideyurame lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami maf prajaha utsideyurime lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami maf prajaha. Ime lokaha utsideyuri me lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham. Yadi aham karma, yadi ched aham karma na kuryam. In case, Arjuna, if I don't do my job, utsideyuri me lokaha. Ime lokaha, all these words, they will all topple. And then what will happen when all these worlds go haywire? Why? Because the leader is not there, the leader is not proper, the leader himself is not doing any karma. Then what will happen? Sankarasya cha kartasyam. All types of Varna Sankara Praja will come out. Meaning anarchy. All types of anarchy behavior will come out. Any type of thought which flourishes, idea which comes, people will just live up to the whims and fancies of the equipment. Even though it is such an amazing equipment, it is to be utilized for proper discrimination. But if the discrimination is not shown, if that standard is not available, this great equipment will turn to itself sankarasya cha kartasya. All types of ill behavior will flourish. Sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanya imam prajaha. Imam prajaha, these upahanya, they will turn to themselves, destroying themselves. The worlds will perish. There will be anarchy. If there is an absolute power, then the absolute power can corrupt absolutely. So, the greater the absolute power, the greater the need for the absolute to be noble. He said, I have no qualms about entering this world and entering this universe for work. I'm ready to work. Sakta karmanya vidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvams tatha saktaha chikirshu loka sangraham. Together, Sakta karmanya vidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvams tatha saktaha chikirshu loka sangraham. Just like a vidvamsaha karmani saktaha kurvanti karma he bharata tatha vidvams asaktaha karma kuryad why chikirshu loka. Bhagavan says, just like an ignorant person completely attached to some fruit that needs to be achieved, with that great attachment enters action. Just like you tell a little child, 6-year-old, that you put away all your toys and I will give you ice cream. And you even open the freezer and show that I have bought this best chocolate ice cream. And that child will look at that ice cream, eyes will dilate and run to the living room and pick up every single piece of toy in no time. Why? Because the eye has seen the ice cream and cannot wait to enjoy the ice cream. And that child attached to that ice cream and the speed with which they clean up the living room and pick up all the toys. Bhagavan says, keep that picture in mind. Just like a child attached to the ice cream does karma, in the same way, now you, Arjuna, being Vidwan, because now he's reached 26 shlokas. And in 26 shlokas, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, now you are Vidwan. Now, having heard this Karma Yoga, Bhagavan says, now you engage in karma with the same zeal of that kid picking up the toys. But that child is doing that action out of attachment to ice cream. You do it as an offering to me. You don't have attachment. Kuryat vidvans asakta, not being attached. Why? Chikirshu loka sangraha, desiring to preserve my universe. Because you are my devotee. You love me. And if you love me, then you should love my creation. And my creation is this world. Lokaha sangraha, for the protection of this world, for preserving this world, for increasing the cause of this world. How, in simple language, Bhagavan is inspiring us to do our actions. You do action, but now give up attachment. We have attachment to karma. We have attachment to desires. And these desires are to bear some fruits. And it is because of those attachment to some fruits, we do some karma. Just like you dangle a carrot in front of a goat and that goat climbs on top of the milking station and doesn't even realize it has been tied over there to be milked. And then it is too late, it cannot move. Bhagavan says, let your carrot be none other than love of the preserving this world, which is my world. Basically, none other than love for me. That is what Bhagavan is saying. Now, 27. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Now Bhagavan says, Arjuna, I realize I'm telling you to be inspired in doing action. But let me tell you something, that after all, this equipment has a baggage. And this equipment is born out of Prakriti. And when it is born out of Prakriti, it is smitten by the gunas of Prakriti. And actually, in Chandogya Upanishad, Uddalak Muni, the great Rishi, teaches his son how this mind is born out of Prakriti. The Uddalak Muni tells his son, you don't eat for 3 days and 3 nights. So the body listens and he has pangs of hunger, but he's conducting an experiment. He doesn't eat. 3 days, 3 nights. 4th day he arrives in front of his teacher and says, now you chant. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Purusha Suktam, you chant. And this boy, there's no memory. Food is not there, and this mind cannot remember what this boy has learned from childhood. It should be like a tape recorder. The minute he hears Sahasra Shirsha, it just comes out, the whole Purusha Suktam. But nothing comes out. So then the father says, now you go and eat this food. So the boy eats sattvic food and he gets the memory. Then tamasic food. He says, now you try to remember. Then rajasic food, then you try to remember. And their experiment proves that when sattvic food is eaten, the memory is sharp. That shows that the antakarana, mind and intellect, it is matter. And matter, it's a modification of food. And Bhagavan says, Prakrute kriyamanani, gunai karmani sarvashaha. It is the gunas of Prakriti which do everything. But ahankariti moodhatma kartahamiti manyate. But because of this ahankar, which bounces back from the antakarana, from the mind-intellect pool, which says, I have done it, because the ahankar cannot live without identification. And the closest thing to ahankar is the body, mind and intellect. And it identifies at the gross level body, at the subtle level mind and intellect, and says, I did it. But actually, this equipment, born out of Prakriti, born out of the gunas of Prakriti, it is guna, guneshu vartante. It is the Prakriti engaged in the world of objects, which is Prakriti, where the dance of Maya happens. But it is the ahankar in between which owns up the dance and play of Maya, and that is the beginning of the plight of the jivahood. This is created because the ahankar said, I have done it. And Bhagavan says, okay, if you say you have done it, then you own up this baggage. It has nothing to do with Prakriti. So then this causal body, Karana Sharira, is created because the ahankar said, Maine kiya, I have done. So this Maine, me, I, where am I to register it? So the seedal body is created, causal body, which is the cause of everything now. Now that same cause dictates, okay, you live with such and such parents, you go through such and such experiences, because you owned up all these things and all these experiences. So now these experiences have created a colossal karmic debt. So you go through all those things. So Bhagavan says, this is the birth of jivahood. And today, if you want to walk out of this jivahood, you follow what I have said. Learn to give this up and try to drain this the best way possible. That's why the shloka is put over here as a distraction to what Arjuna has been listening, that you imagine how you have arrived over here today. You arrived because you owned it up. Imagine on a stage an actor comes and is reading the script and says, "Arey, ye script to bahut hi achhi hai. This script is so good. Let me start living it." The director and the producer of the movie will think, "Cuckoo. Arey, you are an actor. You play your role and then you have to come out of the stage." But the actor says, "No, I like my script. I'm going to throw away my life script and I'm going to live this now." And he permanently decides not to come down from the stage. My God, we laugh at such a person, but that is what we are. We have refused to get down from the stage. And we are saying, "No." All the makeup we do and we sit over there. And the producer, director, Ishwara is looking at us and says, "Pagal." Narayana is looking at us and says, what are you doing? What tirtham will he give? Yeah, even Srirangam Tirtham will not help. Narayana is looking at us and he has come down over here on Arjuna's chariot and telling him, "What are you doing?" The same Narayana is now as Krishna. The Arjuna, Prakrute Kriyamanani. That is what Bhagavan is saying. That हमने अच्छी तरह से माया की भांग पी है. We are drunk with the elixir of Maya and we are roaming about. What to do? So we have to come out of this garb. And that is why Bhagavan is inspiring us to come out of it. So now Bhagavan is saying, wise person. The foolish person is talked about as the one who has owned up the play of Maya. So if there is a foolish person who has owned up the play of Maya, there has to be a wise person. So now Bhagavan is talking about the wise person. Who is the wise person? Tattva Vittu Mahabaho. Tattva Vittu Mahabaho. Guna Karma Vibhagayo. Guna Karma Vibhagayo. Guna Guneshu Vartante. Guna Guneshu Vartante. Iti Mattva na Sajjate. Iti Mattva na Sajjate. Prakrute. Together? Sorry. Tattva Vittu Mahabaho. Guna Karma Vibhagayo. Guna Guneshu Vartante. Iti Mattva na Sajjate. Now, Bhagavan is saying, okay, if the foolish person is lost in Maya just because of ahankar, you see what ego does. Ego makes us so foolish that we start acting in such a way that we own up everything. Just like the actor who has gone to play a role enjoys the script so much that doesn't want to leave the script. And the producer, the director, the writers, the cameraman, everybody wants to leave. Even the stage setup person wants to turn the light off. But this person refuses to get down from the stage. No, this is who I am. Madness, sheer madness. Now, you imagine this ego creates that type of madness in our life. This is what ego has created, our life. That script which we are living. Bhagavan said, मैंने तो बनाई नहीं थी. You have owned up. So now, a wise person, naturally there has to be at least one or two wise people on this planet. No, Bhagavan says, on the other hand, Tattvavit, there is a wise player, a wise actor who knows how to act. They look at the script and they enjoy the script exactly for what it is. And they play the role exactly as it is in the script. They do their job and they leave the script and they walk out. That person is called Tattvavit. So, Bhagavan says, Tattvavittu Mahabahu, the ones who have understood the secret of the universe. That, oh my God, this is a colossal play. Then why am I scratching my head and losing my vitality in trying to fix a problem which is not there? So wise Tattvavit realizes Tattvam Janati iti Tattvavit. So that ahankar is an informed ahankar. This ahankar has gone to Sandipani Sadhanalaya. This ahankar has found a guru, a Dakshinamurti, and has sat underneath the banyan tree with Bhagavan Shiva and has understood, oh, my existence is an imaginary existence. In reality, this is who I am. This is fake, and this script is fake. Okay, if I have gotten this type of outfit to wear on the stage of Maya to play this script, let me just play it. There is a Tattvavit where the ego is a dampened ego. What is a dampened ego? The ego's air has been removed. And that ego says, Mere to Giridhar Gopal dusaro na koi. When Meera says that, what is that Mere to Giridhar? Mere, ahankar is there. Otherwise, how can you say Mere? Ahankar has to be there to say, Mere to Giridhar Gopal. But the Jnana is Dusaro na koi. So the Mere is denied. There is only one Giridhar Gopal. But for the language, she has to say, Mere to Giridhar Gopal. But when she says, Dusaro na koi, that ego is told, I am not there. In fact, he alone is. This Dusaro na koi, that is Gnyana. Are you following me? First statement, Mere to Giridhar Gopal. But knowledge is Dusaro na koi. So he alone is. The second who said, I am, is not there in reality. That is Tattvavit. Okay? Tattvavittu Mahavaho, over here, Guna Karma Vibhagayoho. This Guna created equipment and karma on this platform of Maya, the stage of Maya. Guna Karma Vibhagayoho is not there. And what? Guna Guneshu Vartante. It is a play of this equipment on this stage, and this is the script. Let me just play this script and call it a day and walk out. That is a karma yogi who looks at their life. They look at that prarabdha as a script. A tattvavit looks at prarabdha as a script, plays it and walks out. That is what Bhagavan is saying. That the knower of truth as a karma yogi does not find anything wrong with the script. That is how they find inspiration in living. That is how they do not complain. Now you imagine if there is an actor who comes and he sees the script. Oh, nice. And then he takes a pencil and scratches that out and writes something else. He said, let me change the script. And the person changes the script, and then they go in front of the director, the producer, action, camera starts, and this person is saying things which is not part of the script. The producer will say, cut, cut, cut. And the cameraman cuts, and the producer comes and says, what are you doing? He says, the actor says, I'm only making the script better. The writer over there says, no, I have written it. You have no right to change it. Are you the writer or are you the actor? But the actor is adamant and says, I'm going to make it better. And the producer is going to say, get out, fired, I will look for another actor. Isn't it? In our case, we don't like our prarabdha, we want to change it. And when the script is written, by whom? Me in my previous birth. I am right now the writer of the script of my next birth. So if I don't like it, I can change the script today by how I live. But if I change what I have written yesterday, Yama Parshadas are standing as the ones who are looking at the script and says, not allowed. They will come and they will make sure that the prarabdha is squared. It will be not the natural log of prarabdha, it will be the exponent of prarabdha, and we will be suffering. This is called Shani. 19 years of Shani in our life is when we are tempted to change the prarabdha. But Shani says, try it, 19 years I'm here. And if you don't like it, 3 sadhisatis are sitting. And if that is not enough, 17 years of Rahu Mahadasha. This is how these 9 planets make sure that the script is not changed. There is a reason why we do Ganapati Homa and Navagraha Homa. So that Uttar Pradesh remains proper and learns to work with the script. And if we work with him, Shani is nice. He will not create any problems. See, there is a logic to these 9 planets. Sunday, sun is Surya. It is Atma. Reflection of sun is moon. Monday, Mana. The worst feature of the mind is anger. Tuesday, Mangal, red hot planet. The only way you can get rid of the anger of moon is Budhvar, Wednesday, Buddhi. You cannot take cold shower, you cannot take medicine. You have to properly understand. The mind has to come to understand. But the buddhi has to be guided the next day, Guruvar, by a teacher. It has to be a guru-led buddhi. If the buddhi listens to the guru and gets rid of anger, it will be Shukra, Venus, happy. But if the buddhi doesn't listen to the guru and the anger doesn't go away, Shanivar, oh, Saturn. Suffering. And if we still don't learn in the midst of our suffering, shadow planet rises, eclipse of the heart, Rahu comes. Finally we are forced to learn. Ketu comes, chops the head off, and again rises the Atmakara. These are 9 planets. Don't think that there are some ruling around. The Navagrahas are right here. That's what they are. Symbolically, they are roaming about in the Milky Way galaxy. And we see that beautiful Saturn with the rings. It's our own suffocation of our script which we don't like. From distance, the script looks so nice. You go closer to it, joking. But this is what it is. A wise man understands it is a script. Guna guneshu vartante. This ahankar has been taken to the higher. Let me just. In Ramana Ashram, in front of Ramana, so many wrong things were happening. He would silently look at them. And people would come and complain. He said, why are you complaining? All these stars are sitting over there. A day will come, none of us are left alone. In his own ashram, he used to stand in line for food, you know that? Tattvaved. He said, I have to play by the script. I cannot say, the ashram is a Ramana ashram. He said, did I put the Ramana ashram? You put my name. I did. This food over here is for everyone. He observed every single rule. It's called Tattvavid. They understand the play of the Maya and they are perfect in the execution. And there is no complaining, no cutting lines, no nothing. But I have to go through it, I have to go through it. Prakruter guna sammodhaha sajjante guna karmasu tana krutsna vido mandan krutsna vidna vichalaye Prakruter guna sammodhaha sajjante guna karmasu tana krutsna vido mandan krutsna vidna vichalaye. So I will leave Bhagavad Geeta, 3rd chapter at this 28. I will continue from 29 and 30, they go together very beautifully. 30 is the backbone of the art in action, but I will complete the next part of this chapter on my next visit. I have a few minutes remaining. I thought I will take some questions. If you have 1 or 2 questions, I'll be happy to answer them. The reason is because a lot of you are listening to Bhagavad Gita for the first time. So, anybody has any questions? Yes.
Can you explain how ego is connected to this scheme again, please?
How ego?
Ego. So in Gita it says Manasa, Buddhi, Ahankara are 3, and out of 8, all the universe is created. So how that ego is connected to this?
How is ego created? Is that what your question is?
No, how is ego and this scheme here, the BM?
I explained that on the first day.
Yeah.
So, body, mind and intellect. This is the equipment. The equipment, mind and intellect is subtle body. The difference between me and this cup is that I am made up of the 5 elements. The cup is also made up of 5 elements. But I am capable of knowing or expressing awareness. The cup cannot express awareness. Why? Because in me there exists a special matter called subtle matter. This cup has gross matter, it doesn't have subtle matter. So wherever there is subtle matter, this consciousness reflects. It is like electricity is present in the wires throughout this entire building. But that electricity manifests as light only over here. Why? Because in the wire over there, there exists a special type of wire called filament. And when electricity passes through that filament, the filament glows. But electricity is present everywhere in all wires. But everywhere electricity doesn't express as light. Electricity only expresses over here as light and lights up this room because of a special type of wire called filament. In the same way, this special filament, this consciousness is everywhere, but the consciousness, when it comes in touch with the filament of mind and intellect, it glows. And the glow is the reflection called perceiver, feeler, thinker, ego. Does that make sense? So this is how ego is created. It is a fictitious entity which is neither matter nor consciousness, but it is admixture of both. It has the limitations of matter and it has the awareness of consciousness. In Sanskrit there is a special word for it. It is called Anyo Anya Adhyas. Mutual superimpositioning has taken place. The consciousness lends awareness and the matter lends limitedness, jadatva. So, a fictitious entity called ego rises from the filament of the subtle matter called mind and intellect. Good question. You'll have to ponder upon it. There's a textbook Shankaracharya ji has written. It is called Tattva Bodh. If you read that, all these concepts are clarified over there. Good. You want to come and talk about any more questions? If not, we will continue. Yes.
Sometimes they say if you do some, the children are doing well, they say parents must have done some punya or the grandparents must have done some punya. Is that true? Or if you do some good karma, they say, will the benefits also pass on to your children?
Yes and no. Your question is a very good question. The answer is actually quite deep. Multiple things are working over here. When parents do well, and when the parents themselves have lived a very good, divine, noble, dignified life, the universe does bless those parents. And what is a blessing of a parent? When children do well, when they study well, and they are settled well, and their life is going well. That is the greatest joy of a parent. You imagine you and your wife, you worked so hard to raise your son and daughter, and your daughter goes through terrible marital problems, but you and your wife have a very good marriage. It is painful to watch your own child go through divorce in front of you, isn't it? When a parent sees their own child going through terrible problems, it affects them because it's their child. They've invested in the well-being of that child from the 9, including pregnancy onwards, not just the day they arrived. So the greatest bhagya of a parent is when the child does well. But the child doing well is dependent upon multiple things. First of all, they have to come with a good bhagya. They also have to have a bhagya of good parents. They also have to have a good bhagya of being able to live up to goodness in living. You may provide everything to your child, but if your child doesn't reciprocate, then what do? You are ready to spend so much money for their education. The child doesn't want to learn. Then, so multiple things are in union over there. The prarabdha of the child, the prarabdha of the parent, the punya of the child, the punya of the parents, and the destiny of the universe. That's why Bhagavan Krishna eventually says, Gnyana karmano gatihi. Arjuna, you don't ask too many things about karma because, what can I tell you? Each one of us are seated over here in this room for 5 days. Some of us for all 5 days, some of us for 4 days, 3 days, whatever bhagya was there. But to sit over here, there is a bank balance of karmic debt which we had to earn to sit over here and listen to it. Yet there was another set of karmic debt which allowed us to understand it. And yet another set of karmic debt, after understanding, we leave after 5 days and say, you know what? Oh, I'm going to put this to practice. To live it yet is another bhagya. So your question on a surface level is simple, but yet on another level it is very deep. That's why there are multiple bhagyas all at play. And that is why the greatest thing is prayer to Bhagavan. Lord, I don't know if I have bhagya, but I sincerely pray, may you create a destiny if I don't have it. So that's why prayer is so powerful. What we lack in our destiny, a sincere prayer can help us substitute. But you cannot forcefully make somebody pray. That is also another thing. Prayer is also something we have to be taught from childhood. You can force a child to go through Sandhya Vandanam from the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they will do it because Appa is telling you, Amma is telling you, and I will not get breakfast until I do Sandhya Vandanam. And in these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6 years of doing Gayatri Mantra as a tape record, just like a machine you have chanted Gayatri. But in these 6 years, one day, when we say, you know what, I'm doing this, let me do it properly once. And that one day, the boy decides to chant Gayatri properly. Do you know the whole ritual of going through Punal Samskaras and 6 years of Gayatri, that one day is enough. She will appear. One day. The mechanical chanting of 6 years pays off because one day a sincere prayer to Gayatri was done. And that one sincere prayer, the boy has earned bhagya. Can you put a price tag on that day? The life changes of that child from that day onwards. This is how prarabdha is created and prarabdha is destroyed. That one day when she appears and the child actually gets darshan of this Ambal, no longer the same. That is why our rituals have power. We are counting on one day when I do the ritual properly. One day. Nowadays, we invite the priest and the priest is also talking on phone. Do this. What kind of rituals? It's a mockery. You do avahanam of Ganapati and then you talk to somebody and that poor Ganapati Bhagavan is seated over there. I don't go to marriages because even then I just feel so ashamed. I'm like, what is this? They are more interested in pictures than doing any karma. 4 hours for pictures and the Panditji, so they'll finish in 45 minutes. You cannot even do Avanam of Ganpati and so sad. But, chalo, anyway it is happening. One day, hopefully. So, Gahana Karmano Gati. Somebody, some bulls have plowed the field. Some farmer has sown the seed. His wife has made sure that the animals don't come and destroy the field. And on a hot day when the cotton blossoms, that poor lady has plucked it. That husband of hers, that farmer, has put it all, stuffed it, tied it, put it on a bullock cart and taken it to the village and sold that cotton. And that middleman made money on that cotton. It ends up going to a cotton processing company. This cotton seeds are removed, yet cotton is shipped off to a mill. Then threads are created, and then the thread is dyed. Then a cloth is created. Somebody earns money with so much work, they do hard-earned money, and they decide to buy that cloth. And they say, Swamiji, I want to give you this. Now, in this cotton cloth, the bull has plowed the field, the farmer has sown the seeds, his wife has protected the cotton, somebody has removed the seeds, somebody spun it into thread, somebody earned money, they bought the cloth, they gave it to a tailor stitched it, and yet a third person brought it from Hyderabad to here. And now I am very good. Do you know how many karmic vasanas have touched this cloth? How many people's hands have gone into this cloth? And if I have no regard and I remove and I throw it, some bull has worked so hard to plow the field. I'm insulting a bull. And then I turn around on Monday, I do Rudrabhishekam, and I pour even milk on Nandi, but then I throw this away. The live Nandi who has worked over here, I have no regard for. But a stone Nandi, I poured milk. You see that? That's why it is so important. We don't know who is touching us. On this cloth, so many people touch. I remember I was a little boy. My great-grandmother used to sow seeds of cotton. She used to take care of that little 1 acre of cotton. She would protect it, water it, everything. She herself would pluck it. We had servants for, all other field, but not this field. She would pluck it. She would chant name of Krishna and separate the seeds. She would take that radio and then she would spin the threads. She would go from Nadia to Ahmedabad and get it spun into a cloth. Then she would collect, I remember because I have helped her collect these flowers, orange flowers of Kesura flowers. And she would dye it. And she would stitch the cloth and she would give it to Swami Akhandanandji Maharaj. Every year, 2 pairs she would give. And Akhandanandji Maharaj would only wear that. He said, Sharda, this cloth has no karmic vasanas. She said, you are unlettered, but you are like Sharda. And in your Vamsha Parampara, Gnyani's will come. There are 5 sannyasis in her lineage. She was 3 standard literate. That's it. But that love and bhavana. She used to chant Bhagavad Geeta all the time. I was 9 years old when I did her last samskaras because nobody was there. But the blessings of Mahatma, she used to take me to Akhandanandji Maharaj's pravachan in Valkeshwar in those days, 1970s. So, blessings of Mahatmas can remove colossal prarabdha. And I, being privileged, such a good education and whatnot, and people come and tell me, Swamiji, what happened? Why did you take sannyas? Something wrong? What did I say? I think of myself as such a